Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I do this every week where I show you 3 different meals I made during the week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you are interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first meal I'm going to be showing you is some chicken chimichangas. So I am just going to cook 2 chicken breasts in my Instant Pot. I'm going to set my Instant Pot to about 19 minutes. So while the chicken is cooking, I'm just going to get started on my Mexican rice. I am just adding 1 cup of white rice to some oil to get toasted. So then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and half a teaspoon of cumin. And I'm going to mix that all around until it's nice and fragrant. So then I'm going to add half a can of an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. So about 4 ounces of tomato sauce. So as always, for 1 cup of rice, I'm going to add 2 cups of water. I'm then going to add 1 teaspoon of tomato bouillon and 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. I like to use a whisk to stir it all together just so I know it's all well combined. So once it reaches a rapid simmer, I'm just going to put a lid on it and turn the heat down. So I'm going to work next on shredding my chicken, and then I'm going to season it again. So I'm going to use some onion powder, some cumin, and some garlic salt. I'm going to start assembling my chimichangas, so I'm just adding a small layer of refried beans. I just warmed these up in the microwave, and then I'm going to add my chicken and cheese on top. So once it's done, I'm just going to roll it up. This one has a little bit more in it because it's for my fiance, so the second one I make is going to have a little bit less filling. So then I'm just going to stick these seam side down into a pan with oil. I have my oil set on about medium heat. So I'm just going to let these fry until they're nice and golden brown on the bottom, and then I'm going to flip them. So I'm going to show you how I assembled them. I just squeezed some sour cream on top. I added some iceberg lettuce, which is my favorite, and some queso fresco and some salsa. This is how our plates looked once it was done. Super easy and delicious meal. The next meal I'm going to show you was some creamy chicken pasta. So I'm going to start off with my chicken. I'm just going to use 2 chicken breasts. I'm going to trim the fat. Someone please get me a mallet, I swear. I will get one, I promise. But I am just going to do the same thing to both chicken breasts, and then I'm going to cook them in a pan. I'm just going to season my chicken with my usual seasonings, which is some garlic powder, onion powder, everything seasoning, and some paprika. So then I'm just going to heat up a little bit of oil in my pan and cook the chicken until they're cooked through. So once I flip them, I'm just going to put a lid on top just to help cook the inside. For our side, I'm just going to use some leftover broccoli I had in a bag, which is why there's not very much. I'm just going to season it with some garlic powder, some everything seasoning, and I think that's it. I put this in the oven at about 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to get started on my cream sauce. I'm just going to use some butter and flour to make a roux. So then I'm going to add in my heavy whipping cream. I'm going to use a whisk to make sure I mix it all together. Once it starts thickening up, I'm going to add in some Parmesan cheese. I also added in some other seasonings like salt and garlic powder. I'm just going to let this cook up until it slightly reduces and thickens. I'm then going to add in my noodles and my chicken that I already just cut up. I feel like I like doing my chicken this way because kind of how the restaurants do it, they grill up some chicken to add to the pasta. This is how it looked when it was done. I just added some parsley on top. I give this like a 10. I am such a sucker for some creamy chicken pasta. The next dinner I'm going to show you is some Italian breaded chicken, mashed potatoes, and some broccoli. I'm going to start out with my potatoes. So here I am just chopping my potatoes into cube size. I do leave the skins on. These are gold potatoes. I also do use russet potatoes as well. So once I'm done chopping up the potatoes, I'm just going to rinse them and then fill the pot with water and bring them up to a boil until they are tender. So next I'm going to work on breading my chicken. I am first going to dip each breast into some flour, and then I'm going to put it in an egg wash. Then I'm going to lastly dip the chicken into my Italian breadcrumbs. I did season the breadcrumbs a little bit more with some garlic powder, onion powder, and some chicken seasoning. So the potatoes are boiling. At the same time, I did start my gravy, so I just used some brown gravy mix. And next I'm going to get my broccoli cooking, so I'm just drizzling a little bit of oil on the broccoli. I'm going to use some garlic and herb seasoning and some other garlic and onion seasoning. This will go in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Once my potatoes were done, I just put them on my counter to start mashing them. I'm going to add some heavy whipping cream, some butter, and some garlic. I'm then going to add my salt and my pepper. I also used a little bit of onion powder and some sour cream. For my chicken, I just have some oil in my skillet on about medium low. I'm going to let these cook on both sides until they're brown and cooked through. Once they're done, I just put them both on a cooling rack to let the excess oil drip off for a couple minutes. This is how everything looked once it was done. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.